Good morning once again, and thank you so much for joining our webinar on the experiences of paralegals in Southern Africa. So we have been waiting for other people. Some have joined and others are yet to join, but I think we can start. They will join us as we go. Yes, so this webinar brings together experts and organizations from different parts of the continent. So today we have got people from Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, as well as Zimbabwe. We are going to deliberate, we are going to discuss on issues that affect paralegals in Southern Africa. This also includes the fact that we are going, after discussing, we are going to come up with solutions on how we can make our paralegals thrive in their work in different parts of the continent. I see Valerie has got a video on, as well as Sheila. These are my colleagues from Legal Resources Foundation. Let's give a pam-pam to our guests today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon, for getting the ball rolling. The program indicates introductions. I don't know whether we're going to do a round robin and ask our participants to introduce themselves before we get into the welcome remarks and opening remarks and objectives of today's webinar.
For now, we can, whilst others are joining. So I'm sure we can start with ourselves as the host so that people get to know us. So I will start, and then everyone else from Legal Resources Foundation can join in. So my name is Sharon Sigauke. I'm the Advocacy and Communications Officer at Legal Resources Foundation. It's very good to have you all here. We don't take you for granted. Thank you. I'll pass it on to my colleagues.
Thank you, Sharon. My name is Valerie Joya. I head the Advocacy, Research and Strategic Litigation Department at the Legal Resources Foundation, but I'm also wearing two hats. I am the current Acting Executive Director of the Legal Resources Foundation. I would like to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion. It's new territory in terms of our virtual integration as an organization, but in terms of the work that we've been doing with paralegals, this has been something that has been going on for the past 34 years. So I'm looking forward to today's deliberations. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I hope you can hear me. I'm Sheila Fashu, a senior lawyer with Legal Resources Foundation, Gweru branch. So I'm looking forward to this webinar so that we have to learn from other colleagues from other jurisdictions, so that as we push for this recognition of paralegals, we will be having some countries to learn from. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila. We can move to Philippa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Philippa Mchemwa, senior lawyer for Legal Resources Foundation, Harare. I'm looking forward to an insightful conversation on paralegalism. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Philippa. We can quickly move to Joseph, Sharon, and the other colleagues from LRF.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Makuni, and I'm the Junior Programs Lawyer for the Legal Resource Foundation. I'm based in Masvingo Province. I'm happy to be part of this webinar. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharon Moffat. I'm a senior programs lawyer based in Masvingo Province. Thank you for joining this webinar. Bye.
All right, thank you so much. Welcome, Lynette. Welcome, Abby. Would you like to introduce yourselves so that we can all get to know you?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lynette Brewer. I'm from FIDA, Uganda. And we are really excited to be part of this webinar. We really recognize the work that the Legal Resources Foundation have done in Zimbabwe over the years and the way that they've, pioneered the recognition of paralegals, the training of paralegals. So we're excited and privileged to be part of this conversation of sharing and learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynette. Good to have you. Ali, Jackie, Gillian, you can also introduce yourselves.
Okay, morning everyone. My name is Gillian Hlachwayo, Legal Resources Foundation in Wange. Thank you.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Jackie Osuna. I work with FIDA Uganda as a program coordinator. I too am excited to be a part of these deliberations. Paralegal work is rising very fast, and we all recognize the work that paralegals do in the communities. So I'm very excited to be a part of this conversation and to learn from all the different countries that are represented here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Good to have you here. Colleagues, I'm kindly requesting all that have not introduced themselves to do so.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. My name is Natasha Tembo. I'm the legal officer at CSU. I'm happy to be here and I look forward to learning from all of you.
Thank you.
And good morning. My name is Abudi Philip from Legal Alliance Network in Zambia. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nyasha. I work with GIZ in Zimbabwe and one of the partners of LRF. Good to be here.
Oh, thank you so much, Nyasha. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making time to be a part of the meeting. Yeah, so to get us started, I will just read out the program to you, colleagues, so that you get to know what we are going to be doing today. So we have already started with our introduction, and then we'll move on to welcome and opening remarks from Valerie, our acting executive director. Then we'll also do presentations from Zimbabwe, Tanzania, and Uganda. So on these ones, we'll be discussing on the topic towards the formal recognition of paralegals in Zimbabwe, experiences and lessons learned on working with paralegals in the different countries that I have mentioned. Then we're also going to have a plenary session, then way forward and vote of thanks. So in terms of our housekeeping, I would encourage colleagues to switch on your microphones if you are not speaking. You can also make your contributions in the chat, or you can raise your hands or indicate in the chat box if you've got any concerns or any issues you would like us to know. And then also I would like to encourage colleagues to pay attention, take your notebooks, take notes, because this is a platform where we are going to be sharing lessons. We are also going to share ideas from the different countries. So in the plenary session, we are also going to discuss on issues to do with experiences of paralegals in the different countries across Southern Africa. So as our panelists are going to be making their presentations, you can be taking your notes, you can be taking your questions or put them in the chat box. So our panelists will get back to you or will respond to your questions during the plenary session. So I'm now going to introduce our Executive Director, Valerie, to come and give us the welcome and opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon, and welcome participants to this regional exchange webinar. Initially, when we conceptualized this, it was supposed to be a physical event, but other problems arose during the planning phases, so we ended up opting for the virtual route. Thank you so much for sparing time out of your busy schedules. I am aware of the time differences as well because of the whole African region that is around in this webinar. But we do thank you for aligning yourselves to the Zimbabwean time schedule. All right, so perhaps before I start introducing the webinar and what we aim to do through the advocacy work that we're doing around Paralegals, I'll just give you a brief background of who LRIF is for those that may not know us, but also for those who know us, to just further reiterate and really explain what the organization does. So we are an organization that was formed in 1984. This year we'll be celebrating our 38 years in existence as an organization. We are a human rights organization. Our vision is a Zimbabwe where human rights are upheld and where all people have access to justice. So access to justice forms the core part of the work of the LRAF, which is why we use a variety of initiatives to ensure that we're able to reach out to those that are most in need. For those of you that may not be familiar with the Zimbabwean setup, we have a geographical presence in 20 districts in the country and in all the provinces. We recently opened an office in Mashonaland West province late last year, which was the only province that we didn't have a physical presence in. So in terms of our geographic scope, we're national and we operate in the rural areas of Zimbabwe. We do have urban offices, but our paralegals are based within the rural areas of Zimbabwe. You may ask why the rural areas. If you look at the population demographics of Zimbabwe, over 70% of the country's population resides in the rural areas. So we decided to go where the need was, where our services were greatly needed and where the majority of the people reside. Our services are for free. We do not charge for our services. We are donor funded, and any form of assistance that our beneficiaries get is entirely at no cost to them. What do we do at the Legal Resources Foundation? We provide free legal services, legal education within communities, advocacy work, capacity building. On the capacity building element, we work mainly with the Zimbabwe Republic Police. We work with the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services and the traditional leaders that we have in Zimbabwe, which are housed under the Chiefs Council. So we also conduct trainings on with traditional leaders in Zimbabwe. We do research work. We operate help desk at the courts, where our beneficiaries are able to get the assistance that they require within that court premises and that court building. We actually assign officers at these various help desks within the courts. Then we also develop a lot of IEC material. If you look at our name, Legal Resources, we produce a lot of resources, particularly reading material in different formats, be it contribution to the Zimbabwe Law Reports, pamphlets, books that we also publish under our own publishing house. And then we are also very active in citizen engagement in communities, where we raise awareness within communities on the need to engage in whatever processes that affect them. Then we also do, we're a public interest organization, and we also use strategic litigation for reform within the law. So that's pretty much the Legal Resources Foundation. In terms of staff complement, we have 56 employees, but we also have a volunteer and intern-based program within the Legal Resources Foundation. So for those that are coming from university, they can come and intern with us for a period of a year and then eventually seek better opportunities after interning with the organization. So that is the work that we do. Our paralegals, they conduct legal education within communities. They provide resources to our communities. They also provide us with information for the researches that we conduct in terms of data collection and so forth. And they are the face of the LRF in terms of the grassroots presence of the organization. I would say this is attributable to the paralegals that we have. But we also have lawyers in-house. I'm sure you will, if you were listening to the introductions, we have several of our lawyers that have joined in within this webinar, and they work closely with the paralegals. So the paralegals that work within the LRF report directly to the various lawyers in their districts. And then in terms of advocacy work around the formal recognition of paralegals, this is something that we've been doing with the support of the GIZ. It's now over 3 years now. Our aim is to have a reform in the Legal Aid Act of Zimbabwe so that we get formal recognition of paralegals. It is key, it is crucial, it has been acknowledged that they do play a crucial role in ensuring access to justice within communities, and yet they lack that formal recognition. There have been some strides that have been made in that. Prior to this, we used to have an in-house training model as the Legal Resources Foundation for paralegals, but through the support of another partner, the in-house training model has evolved to become a diploma in paralegal studies that is offered by the Midland State University. So we are eternally grateful for that, because now they do have a formal qualification that is affiliated to a university that can be recognized in various aspects within the various sectors that paralegals find themselves in. So we are looking forward to this webinar to get experiences, to see where we can improve, to see where we can really advocate further to ensure that we are able to get our desired outcome in the Legal Aid Act of Zimbabwe. We have developed a model law. I will not speak much into that because Sheila will tell you more about the model law on the Legal Aid Act that has been developed, which will see the formal recognition of paralegals in Zimbabwe. So thank you very much. We are grateful to the GIZ, and thank you for attending this event as well. Back to you, Sharon. Sharon Sigauke, I think you're on mute. You are muted, Sharon. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Valerie, for a very informative presentation. I'm very sure that our visitors here are also excited to hear more about what the Legal Resources Foundation is doing in relation to making the environment conducive for paralegals to thrive. So I will not take much time, but I will then give the time to Sheila, our senior lawyer from Gweru, to make a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon, and a very good morning to those who have just joined us. As indicated, I'm Sheila Mhlanga-Fashu, a senior lawyer based in Midlands Province, in charge of the Midlands Province, and I'm very excited to be here. I hope you are excited too. In the introduction or the welcome remarks, Valerie has already touched on some of the things that I intend to touch on, but nevertheless, I will explain more on some of the activities that we are engaged in as the Legal Resources Foundation. And I'll start by defining who a paralegal is for the purposes of those who might not be familiar with this term. The International Legal Paralegal Movement Association defines a paralegal as a person qualified by education or training or work experience who is employed or retained by a lawyer, law office, corporation, government agents, or other entity who performs specifically delegated substantive legal work for which a lawyer is responsible. This definition actually suits the 15 paralegals that the Legal Resources Foundation has trained, who are employed by the Legal Resources, as was reiterated by Valerie in her welcome remarks. Of interest is that as the Legal Resources Foundation, I will be happy to categorize our paralegals in two forms. Firstly, there are these 15 paralegals, which I shall call the institutional paralegals. We've got diplomas in paralegalism, which were offered by the Midland State University. We also have community-based paralegals, and these can be defined as individuals who have skills and knowledge of the law that enable them to provide some form of legal education and legal aid and assistance to members of the community they are part of or know well. These are supervised by LRF legal practitioners as well as by paralegals who usually interact with these community paralegals more closely than the lawyers. So we have several of these community paralegals because the paralegals that we have train people with capacity to play a multiplier role on different and various topics of the law, such that they will be in a position to play a multiplier role at the end of the day. And these people also offer communities with legal aid in the form of legal advice on family law issues and related matters. They also give alternative dispute resolution in the form of mediation in order to settle some disputes in rural areas. Also, they refer people to various stakeholders and relevant stakeholders to ensure that they get a service at the end of the day, be it to the police, be it to LRF offices, be it to other service providers that have been mentioned by Valerie already. Regionally, paralegalism has been defined in the context-specific way, and I like the definition that was given by Paralegal Institute of Malawi, which describes paralegals in the following manner. Paralegals are like paramedics or barefoot doctors who provide first legal aid to ordinary people. So in the same way that doctors work with nurses who do the first aid work, who do the work on the ground, lawyers are like doctors, whilst paralegals are like nurses. The whole team is there to make sure that people have access to justice at the end of the day. It also ensures that people have their human rights observed and protected as is required by our constitution. It would be good as well to give a brief history of the legal aid and paralegalism in Zimbabwe. As Valerie has indicated, this is not a new phenomenon. It has been there for a long time. What is lacking at the moment is formal recognition of these paralegals. So paralegals have been playing a very important role in Zimbabwe, especially those trained by the Legal Resources Foundation, in view of the fact that Legal Resources Foundation has been in existence for the past 38 years. Legal Resources Foundation started training paralegals in 1993, and by 2001, 100 people had been trained, and 43 of these trained people had remained in the organization by 2001. So the training program that they undertook or that they went through entailed in-house training at legal project centers, and a short residential course was offered to the paralegals, and these were under the supervision of lawyers. The training took 2 years. So it was both theory and practical, like Valerie has indicated. It was and is still on the job training. So from my definition, you would find out that the Legal Resources Foundation has been playing a very fundamental role in ensuring that people are assisted by paralegals. But it is not the only entity, so to speak, that has been playing this role, though of course we do admit that we've been playing a fundamental role. In 2012, UNDP funded Ministry of Women Affairs, Gender and Community Development to develop a family laws training manual for paralegals, and the ministry then commissioned Women and Laws